People with no credentials are killing it online. Meanwhile, you're buried in work. This is a common problem for modern skilled professionals. See, it used to be the case where if you were an accountant or a therapist or you had some sort of special skill, like maybe you're a writer or whatever, you've trained all this time, you've probably gone to school for your profession, and you've climbed the ladder in your career, wherever that looks like for you. For a lot of attorneys, that means opening up your own practice. The same for medical professionals. For accountants, it's opening up your own firm. For like, it looks different per industry. Like, you've gone to school all this time, you've dedicated so much time in your career to keep leveling up, leveling up, leveling up. And the way that it used to be is that people like you were on top in the economy, making six figures a year, maybe even multiple six figures a year, put you as like the top earner in most communities. And while that's still good by all means, and that still affords you a lot of comfort in life, in this modern age, we're seeing content creators who maybe don't even have half as much skill as you, half as much experience as you, making 20 times more than you. And it can be frustrating sometimes because maybe you don't say this directly, but like, I'll say it for you. You deserve it more than they do, or at least it feels that way. Then there's this impression left that in order to participate in all that upside they're experiencing, all of the riches that they're creating, that you too have to go and gain a bunch of followers, tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of followers just to make it, right? And I'll call that the Dr. Miami train of thought. Dr. Miami just had a great social marketing strategy that filled up his practice, or I'm sure he has multiple probably. He made a lot more money that way. And a lot of skilled professionals think that that's what they need to do to get to the next step. It's like, I need to build up all these followers and I need to grow my practice. And I'm here to tell you that is playing the game on hard mode, because you're trying to do what everyone else is trying to do. So you have like a larger competition pool, and you likely work in a space that doesn't excite people as much as a BBL does. Let's just be real. So what's the game plan for you to get richer? And I figured that out. And it's actually nothing new, but in today's age, it's more accessible. That's the new component of it. The format is the same. The accessibility for you is completely different. It's way more available to you now. So I want you to think back to Oprah and her guests, right? Her guests were often professionals, people who were experts at something, whether they were an expert in the relationship between parents and children, and they came on the show to do a segment about that. They're likely like a psychiatrist or a therapist or a family counselor or something who has years of experience, or Dr. Phil, or like any other people of that caliber of her many, many guests that she brought on to share their perspective. Like, that's you. And TED Talks do the same thing, right? Like, you come here as a skilled professional and give us your sermon. And those are two representations of like the old way of getting visibility, right? Things like that still work by all means, but it was much more closed off. Even getting a TED Talk nowadays is easier. But the point is, like, what are your chances of getting on Oprah? What are your chances of getting on a TED Talk, right? Like, pretty slim. And then we talk about monetizing you, right? So that's the exposure. And you don't just need the exposure. You can't stop there. You need to be monetized, right? You need something that you can sell that's not tied to your time. So, and what I mean by that is when you're doing your services right now, so whether you own your own practice or firm, or you're a salaried employee or a contractor or freelancer, like, the way that you're making money now is by delivering on a service, delivering your expertise. And so you have to work for every dollar that you make. And so the way that people used to take skilled professionals like you and untie their time from their earning capacity was through publishing. So they would publish a book for this person and cross their fingers that through their distribution channels that the book was a big hit. But it's kind of like, at least in today's day and age, I can see the value that it had back in the day. But in today's day and age, especially with like Amazon, Kindle self-publishing, where anybody can just publish anything, and in the age of ebooks, like, to me, being a best-selling author doesn't quite have the same effect as it used to. And I'm talking about like shock value, but also like earning capacity, because there's a much bigger world out there for like what you can do monetizing your expertise. Like, for example, if let's rewind 30 years. For you to be an expert and publish a book and be like a #1 bestseller and make millions of dollars in that first year of the book launch, like, you would have to capture the attention of hundreds of thousands of people, maybe even millions of people, to make that happen. And like, what are your options to do so? Either your book is just so good and so perfectly timed that it naturally sweeps the nation, or you get onto something like Oprah or like some sort of distribution network. Times are different now. Number number one, those distribution networks aren't as gated anymore. And number two, you can monetize much further than a book using your expertise, using your skills. See, a book is typically a manual that is helping someone achieve something. And so you might have a relationship counselor or therapist write a book about saving your marriage or about recovering from divorce. But the monetization opportunity there is like $20, $30, however much the book costs. And so that's how much you get per customer. It's extremely limited, right? Especially when you're trying to help somebody achieve a goal using your experience. When you step into the age of teaching people online courses, digital products, digital experiences, then you can disconnect your time from your money and also teach people, walk people through that transformation that can bring them closer to their goal or help them accomplish their goal. And all at the same time, you have more opportunity because your monetization potential doesn't stop at the $20 or $30 product, which used to be a book. Like, you have greater opportunity there. Like, you can upsell them into more tools, more resources, more learning opportunities, more experiences, so that $20 or $30 customer now becomes worth $150 or $3,000 or $10,000. And so you have a massive expansion of the monetization potential, because if you go on these platforms now and you share your expertise and you have offers that are carefully crafted to sell the people listening to you to help them improve something in their life, and that takes off, then let's put it like this. If you have 10,000 buyers and you ran on like the old way of things where you just sold a book and that book was $20, 20 times 10,000, you got $200,000 in earnings, right? If you have 10,000 buyers and you now structure a funnel, a series, and don't let the word funnel like intimidate you. It's just a series of offers to people to help them accomplish the outcome that you're best suited to help them accomplish. With that, like, if you have 10,000 buyers and they go through a funnel instead, and the average customer is worth $500, then, and I'm using real references, like $500 in the funnels that I run is typically like the value of a customer just based on the price points that I like to use for things like this. But the point is, you have the same 10,000 buyers, but the average earnings per customer is $500. Then your earning capacity there is 10,000 times 500, which is now $5 million. You see what I mean? Did I do that math correctly? Yeah. So that's $5 million. And so you have the difference between $200,000 and $5 million, right? And this is what the content creators and influencers who are half as skilled as you or less, who have less experience than you, who are less qualified, speak on things than you. This is what they're doing, and this is how they're cashing in. And when you add your authority to it, it becomes even larger. People with the right authority naturally sell more. You know why? Because customers can feel it, right? And it's also a trust thing. It's like, how do I know I should give you my money and change the course of my life to follow your advice on this when there's so many people speaking who don't have any experience to back it up? How do I know that's a good investment? People feel that. So when you stack up these creators who are less qualified than you against a skilled professional with the credentials like you have, like, you're going to perform better. If y'all are saying the same message, if we make all other things equal, you will perform better because of that trust factor. And that trust factor just comes naturally from your experience and your title, and which you had to go through to earn that knowledge. So the answer for you to cash in on the modern age and step into higher tax brackets with much higher income, like, the answer for you may very well be that you need to consider a series of offers that accomplishes an outcome that you are well suited to deliver. So in another video, we'll talk about, like, how do you pick exactly what do I sell? Because sometimes it's not always on the nose and it's like, well, I'm a children's therapist, so I should sell children's therapy. Like, that may not actually be it for you. So I'll create another video, because that's a whole other topic, but I'll create another video on how you actually pick that.